of you that saw his presentation before, Jack is actually out competing, and we saw him on a video, so we're privileged to have him here in person. I'm not going to go into a lot of Nick's background because he's going to do that, but Nick is an exceptional athlete, as are his children. What I love about Nick Felix is his enthusiasm, he's contagious as far as just appreciating your day-to-day of life, and the opportunity to compete. So whenever after I hear Nick speak, you know, I want to go out and do something special. I want to do something more. So that's what I'm hoping today comes through to you. Is when I have one word that I could describe Nick with, it would be excellent. Everything he does to me looks pretty excellent. So I'm going to turn it over to Nick and Jack.
Thank you very much. Before I get started with my program, real quick, the last time we did this, first of all, who was here this summer and ran at the cross-country camp? Who ran the cross-country camp? Only got one. All right, so you're going to have to suffer through this again. Sorry about that. Some of this stuff's going to be the same. You've seen it before, but I hope you enjoyed just as well. Do you remember the video that I showed at the beginning of that? The young man that was competing out in California? Hey, you recognize him from the video? Yeah. So what I asked my son to do, he's in town with us for a little while, and I asked him to come down here and speak with y'all because not long ago, he was sitting in the very seats that you guys are sitting in. He was in the same bleachers, running at the same local cross-country meets, and now he is no longer doing that. He's on a completely different level. So with that, I'm just going to let him talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to do my presentation after he's done.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jack Felix, and I'm currently a professional triathlete on the United States Olympic development team. So not too long ago, I went to Hilton Head High School and ran cross country, but before that, I was in Hilton Head Middle School and I was looking for a sport to do. I was not good at any of the sports I tried. In fact, I was terrible. Dad put me in soccer, swing and miss every time. Big old swing, miss the ball. But I was the fastest one on the other side of the field. Then he tried lacrosse. Lacrosse, fast on the other side of the field, missed the pass, missed the shot. Pretty bad. And then in 7th grade, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try cross country. It sounds a little miserable, just go run for fun, but whatever. I tried everything else. And I came to find out that I was actually pretty decent at cross country, and I really enjoyed the run. So I worked pretty hard, and I wasn't very good, but I really enjoyed it. And I moved my way up the ranks of the team, and by the end of my senior year in high school, I was the best runner on our team, and we had done pretty well. We had won a couple state championships, and I was actually looking to go to college for my sport. So I got to the point where college coaches were calling me on my cell phone. I didn't know how they got my number. They were calling me on my cell phone. They were saying, Jack, we want you to come to our school. And they would fly me to whatever school I wanted to go to and show me around the campus. And I was fortunate enough to continue running on at Clemson University. Y'all know where that is? Yeah. We got Clemson fans here? Who's Clemson fan? Who's South Carolina fan? Oh, come on, guys. Come on now. All right, so I went on to run at Clemson University, and after that, I decided I wasn't done with sport yet. I'd done pretty good in college, but I wasn't done, so I gave triathlon a go. And then when I started triathlon, I took it up pretty quick, and I ended up turning professional the first year after college. And the last year, I spent traveling around the country and around the world, racing the best guys at triathlon, and getting paid for it. It's my full-time job. I don't have another job. I race and train full-time as my career. I spent time in the desert. I went to Australia and raced. I've flown around the globe just to follow my sport because of the amount of work I put in leading up to it. I worked hard in middle school, led me to high school varsity. I worked hard there. That got me to go to college and get paid for it. Then, after that, it made it my job. So it's been quite an experience, but the best part about it is the experience. It's not the races. It's all about the experience I've had, the friends I've made. Just sport, any sport in general, if you work hard at it, you're going to make great friends and have great experiences. And it's just been an absolute ball. I hope you guys all find something that you love to do as much as I love to compete in triathlon. Whether it is running, if you don't like running, I understand. Sometimes running stinks. If you like soccer, if you like football, you like golf, tennis, anything, you know. It really is an absolute blessing to be able to play your sport and really pour your heart into it because it can take you a really long way. So, I hope you guys get into it and find something you love. It's worth it.
you think about some questions you might want to ask Jack, because he may be able to stick around. I don't know what his schedule looks like. I know he had an open water swim this morning. I'm not sure what other tricks. Because when you're a professional athlete, you got to train all day. That's what he does. You guys go to school, he trains. So he had an open water swim this morning. I don't know what else is on his calendar, but if he sticks around with us, you guys will have an opportunity to ask me some questions. All right, a couple of things. First of all, can everybody hear me? Yeah. All right, good. I've never been told that anybody has trouble hearing me. So if you have trouble hearing me, you need to get your hearing checked. I'm pretty sure I'm loud enough. Second of all, this is an interactive process. So do not expect to sit on the bleachers and not participate in my discussion today. This is not a lecture. This is intended to be a discussion with you guys. All right? So what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why did Coach Nash ask me to come and talk to you guys? Well, the reason she asked me to come is to speak to you about me and why I run. So I'm going to talk to you guys about why I run, and the objective is that you guys may pick up on something that will encourage you to participate in whatever extracurricular activity you may have an interest in. Whether that is running, whether that is soccer, I don't care if it's the debate club. All I want you to do is to get fired up about what it is that makes you do what you want to do. But if you're going to do it, I want you to do it right. So I'm going to use a little PowerPoint presentation here, and I apologize in advance if this thing is a little squidgy, because I'm working on somebody else's computer. All right, real quick, I just want to tell you a little bit about me and who I am, and that's where we're going to get started, and then we'll go from there. My name is Felix. I am an attorney. I practice law with the McNair Law Firm. Does anybody know what litigation is? Courtroom law. You ever seen Law and Order? Dun dun. Yeah, all I have to do is say that sound. Everybody goes, oh, Law and Order. I know what that is. All right, that's what I do for a living. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'm in the courtroom. No, I'm not really in the courtroom 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but it seems like that. Before I was an attorney doing litigation in the civil world, I was a Marine with the United States Marine Corps. Yeah, how about that? When I was in the Marine Corps, I rose to the rank of major. I was on active duty from 1989 when I graduated from the Civil Military College until 1996 when I got out and started practicing law with the firm I'm with now. Then I was in the reserves until 2006. I was a prosecutor and I was a special assistant U.S. attorney. While I was in the Marine Corps, I'm going to be careful because I don't want to step on these cords. I graduated from the Citadel and I went to Dreher High School in Columbia. Now you'll see on there, with regards to high school, this is one of the things I want to talk to you guys about. Because things are a little different now. When I was in high school, there wasn't all this specialization. Like you guys specialize a lot now, don't you? Like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I play soccer. That's all you play. Which is okay. But when I was growing up, we did everything. My senior year of high school, I played football. I ran cross country while football season was going on, and basketball would start while football was still going on. There would be times when I'd be at football practice, and the coach would get on the walkie-talkie and say, get Felix out of his football gear and get him over here at the cross country meet. And I'd jump out of my football gear, run over to the cross country meet, run the cross country meet, run back over to finish football game. But you guys don't do that now. A lot of times y'all are playing a single sport. That's the way we used to do it. So if you can't figure out from that screen that I love sports, you got issues. Now that's carrying over to me as an adult. Now as an adult, I still love sports. I love them. I love everything about them. Because it's a little mini microcosm for your life. Sports will teach you a lot about day-to-day living. And if you play sports the right way, if you do it right, it should carry over in your life. How you live your life and how you play your game is the same. Anybody's dad play golf? Whose dad plays golf? Yeah. Talk to your dad, find out what he thinks about a cheater on a golf course. Who shapes strokes on a golf course? Who kicks putts on a golf course? You ever heard of a foot wedge? Like the guy ends up in the bushes and he's like, oh, my ball's over here. Right? No, we don't do that. Okay, so now I just kind of carried over my love of sports from college, where I played soccer in college and went on a soccer scholarship at the Citadel. And I got out, and I went into the Marine Corps. I started doing road racing. I started doing marathons. I started cycling, competitive racing. I raced for Ropes and Forensics, which sponsors a high-level cycling team competitively. I raced all over the Southeast. I do triathlons like my son Jack does. Jack does the Olympic distance triathlon. Anybody know what a triathlon is? What's a triathlon? No. You got to talk to the whole group here. What's a triathlon?
Oh, swim, run, bike.
Is it in that order? Who knows the order of a triathlon? Swim, bike, run. Right. But what I used to always tell the athletes that I was coaching, you swim to bike, right? Because swimming is the first event, then you got to get on the bike. You bike to run, because then biking is the second event, you got to run, and you run to win. Why? Because run is the last event. You go across the finish line first, you got to do it on the run. I've done everything from a sprint distance, which is 500 meter jack, make sure I get my distances right. 500 meter swim, or thereabouts. 14 to 18 mile bike ride, and a 3.1 mile run. That's a sprint distance, right? All the way up to the Ironman distance. Does anybody know what week it is this week? Does anybody know what week this week is? Jack, what week is this? Kona week. Guys, you gotta up your quotient, you gotta up your sports quotient. This is the World Championships. This week in Kona, Hawaii, they're racing the Ironman World Championships in a little tiny town called Kona, Hawaii. Ironman World Championships are a 2.4 mile open water swim in the ocean, followed by a 112 mile bike ride, followed by a 26.2 mile marathon run. That's the Ironman. I have been to World Championships twice. 2008, I qualified at Ironman Maryland, won my age group, and in 2013, I qualified at Ironman Louisville. You don't go to the World Championships without winning the qualifying race. It takes me 10 hours or thereabouts to do that race, 140 plus miles. Yes, sir. Did I finish them? Yeah, I did finish them. Finished both World Championships in under 11 hours, which is, for me, that was a pretty good feat. Jack, what's the world record right now in the Ironman?
7 hours, 42 minutes.
Does that tell you what the pros look like? I'm doing it in 10 or 11 hours, and those guys are doing it in under 8 hours. That's pretty impressive stuff. Yeah, everybody's like, holy moly, those people are crazy. But how did I get started? What is it that makes somebody do something that nutty? Why on God's green earth would anybody swim 2.5 miles, jump out of the water, get on a bike, ride 112 miles, and then run 26.2? Well, for me, it happened in 2000. I'd never done a triathlon until 2000. I watched it on the television. Has anybody ever seen the World Championships on TV? You seen that footage of that lady like crawling across the finish line? Right? That's one of the famous pictures. Now I would watch that and I'd say, man, I could do that. I was in the Marine Corps, I'd run marathons. Now granted, I didn't have a road bike at the time. But I thought, I can do that. One day I'm going to do that. And then in 2000, a very dear friend of mine named Katie Ram had a little sister named Kristen Mann who was 21 years old and she died of cancer. That's a very sad story, I know. And it made me sad. I went to her funeral. It was a beautiful ceremony. And shortly after the funeral, I got a letter in the mail. And Krista's big sister, Katie, who was a friend of mine growing up and a friend of my wife's, was running the Marine Corps Marathon in honor of her sister, Krista, for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Team in Training. Has anybody ever heard of the Team in Training? They race. You heard of that, young lady? Yeah. So people get together and they race races and they train together and then they raise money for cancer research. And I got the letter from Katie Ram, a friend of mine, who I knew for a fact had never run a race in her entire life. In fact, the funny story is when my kids were little, Katie would come over to visit. I'd never seen Katie without makeup, and I'd never seen Katie without hose. Some of you guys don't know what those are, some of you guys do. But Katie, my son ran up to her and said, Miss Katie, let's go outside and play. And Katie looked at me and said, oh, honey, Miss Katie had to go outside. That's how unathletic she was. And yet she was going to run a marathon in honor of her sister. So I said, well, the heck with that. If Katie Ram can run a marathon, I'm going to do the Ironman. Never run a triathlon before. So I signed up for my first triathlon. It just happened to be an Ironman distance. I didn't know any better. But that's how I got started. So it had to be something. It was an event. It was something that triggered me to do that. And I trained. I got a program out of a magazine called 13 Weeks to a 13-Hour Ironman. And I trained by swimming around a pool in a circle without touching the sides for an hour. I get in the pool, swim around a circle for an hour. I had no idea what I was doing. You'll laugh, because this is so not what we do nowadays. This training is so scientific. He's hooked up to a computer every time he goes out. I had no idea what I was doing. But I knew it should take me about an hour to swim 2.5 miles. So I jump in the pool, swim around in a circle for an hour and a half. swim for an hour. Great. Get off. You remember the Wonder Bike? So I would train. I had 3 small kids at the time. I had a hybrid bike. I put a seat on the front, a seat on the back, and drill a hole down the middle tube and put a seat in the middle. He would ride in the middle. My youngest daughter would ride in the front. My middle daughter would ride in the back. We'd ride around the island like that for hours. That was my bike training. And for my run, I'd load them all up in a stroller. He would get on his bike and ride, and I'd load the 2 girls up in a stroller, and we'd go out and I'd run for a couple hours while he rode his bike. And that's how I got into triathlon. That was my first one. I did it 11 hours and 19 minutes, and I had no idea what I was doing. Which was probably a good idea, because if I'd have sat down and thought about it, I'd have said, man, you're crazy. That's nuts. What are you doing? But I was committed to it. And once I committed to it, I was not going to do it. So ask yourselves a question right now, whatever sport you play. Who's a runner here? Who's a runner? Where are my runners? Okay, what other sports do I have here? Who's soccer?
Baseball.
Baseball, okay, baseball. You guys in the World Series run right now. Who's your team? Who's your team? Aren't you watching the World Series? Lead up right now? Cubbies? Ooh, they're going down to the Nats. Yankees? Oh, they're going down to the Indians. You guys gotta get some new teams. Y'all are jumping. All right, what other sports? What other sports could I bring? Baseball? Yes, sir. Football, okay? Good. All right. Well, no matter what the sport is, I want you to think to yourself, before we start this little talk here, why do I do what I do? Why do I play football? Why do I play baseball? Maybe because you love it. I love baseball. Now I love getting out there. I can remember when I played soccer. One of my favorite things in the world was before a game, we played in a stadium. I can remember the smell of fresh cut grass. Man, I love that smell. Or the sound of my cleats going down the gangplank leading into the stadium. And it wasn't just the sound, it was that first, remember when you step off the concrete? That first sensation of your cleat going into the grass? Remember that feeling? Isn't that a great feeling?
Yeah.
Or if you're a golfer or a tennis player, I'm a tennis player and a golfer too. I love, remember that feeling when you strike the ball and you get a good hit? What it feels like to make contact? So you ask yourself, as we go through this, I'm going to talk to you about why I do what I do, but I want you guys to think about why you do what you do. Give me some reasons why you do what you do. Why do you play football? Because it's fun? Because you like it? Sure. I saw your hands. You love it when you play. Golf and tennis. You enjoy it. Yes, sir, young man. You meet new friends. That's great. Jack Felix, best friends in the world. Who's your best friend in the world? Cross country team. Still, to this day, the high school cross country team. Yes, sir. You get better. I like that. I like that. What's the name of the guy in Tennessee? What are you in Tennessee, Jack? Every time you ask a question, what's his name?
Mr. Reggie Jewin. I remember walking into the weight room. It was way after hours. The gym was dark. I was walking with my coach in the box. He was my weight coach. And we were walking to the weight room to get to the meeting room. All the lights were out. And we heard a weight drop. We both looked around and thought, flip the lights on. See who was in the gym. Mr. Reggie Jewin was a sprinter at the University of Tennessee. He's not very good. And he was in the gym with headphones on, the lights on. And we waved him down and I was like, what's going on, coach? And the coach was like, Reggie, what in God's name are you doing in my weight room with the lights on? I'm getting better. And we just, well, I had nothing to say. Turned the lights back off and we walked out.
But they would run into that guy in the library, and you know what he was doing in the library? When they asked him, Reggie, what are you doing in the library? He said, I'm getting smarter, Jack. And they'd see him on the track, he'd be out running on the track, and they'd say, Reggie, what are you doing on the track? He'd say, I'm getting faster, Jack. So I like that. Getting better at what you do, that's a good thing. All right, so why do I do it? I'll tell you why I do it. I literally do it because I can. That's my reason. I run because I can. I do triathlons because I can. I play golf because I can. It is the privilege to be afforded the opportunity to conduct yourself in that way. The opportunity to compete, the opportunity to participate in that sport. Because I can promise you this, there are a lot of people that do not have that opportunity. There are a lot of people who are not given that chance, whether because of their economic condition, because of their geographic condition, or because of their physical condition, who do not have the ability to get up every day and put both feet on the floor and hit the ground running. And I literally can get myself out of bed with that thought process. I am getting up today because I can. That alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning. Doesn't matter because I'm already awake. I usually wake up between 4:15 and 4:30 every day. Why? Because I can't. It literally is the reason that I do it. Dick Hoyt had a son. When his son was born, that's Rick. Rick has cerebral palsy. Does anybody know what cerebral palsy is? You can't move. You literally are physically trapped within a paralyzed body. And Rick Hoyt, from the day he was born, could not control his physical movements. When he was born, the doctors told his parents he was a vegetable. They said, put him in a home, he's never going to amount to anything. Dad said, no. At the time, they were developing computer software that would allow people who were trapped within their bodies to communicate visually by looking at a computer. And by blinking, they would select a typed letter. And Dick took his son down to Boston University Medical Center and sat him down in front of one of those computers. And his son typed "Go Bruins." Later on, Dick took his son for a run in a wheelchair, ran in a 5K. They got home and his son said on the computer, he typed, "Dad, can we do that again?" Dad said, "Sure, son, we can do that again. Why?" And Rick said, "Because when I run, I fly." So they started doing races together. Dick would load Rick up in a wheelchair and he was running. They did everything from 5 days to marathons. And then to raise awareness for his son's condition, Dick Hoyt came up with a real crazy idea. Remember that triathlon I was talking to you about? Swim 2.4 miles. Do it with a guy in a raft behind you. Bike 112 miles. Do it with somebody mounted on the front of your bike. A fully grown adult. Then get off the bike and run 26.2 miles. Pushing somebody. That's video from Rick and Dick Hoyt at the World Championships in Hawaii. They have competed and completed the Kona course over 10 times. I don't want to get up today. I'm too tired. I don't want to run. This is hard. My shoes are heavy because it's raining and they're all wet.
I can only imagine when all I would do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine.
So what changes it? What makes the difference? Why do I run? Because I can. I will suggest to you, and you may have your own opinion or reason or belief, but I will suggest to you it is the attitude that you have about the undertaking that makes the difference. How you decide to approach the endeavor. Who has to go to practice this afternoon? Who gets to go to practice this afternoon? You understand the difference between the two? If you don't, you need to. And you need to figure out the difference between the two. The difference between the two is I get to go to practice. Not I have to go to practice, I get to go to practice. I am given the opportunity to participate in that activity, and I'm going to make the best of it. I get to versus I have to. I get to make a conscious choice to conduct myself in a particular way, which says I'm not just going to go out and sandbag that activity. Anybody know what sandbagging is? Yeah, you show up, put the uniform on, you run in a circle, great, I'm here. Okay, you're up to bat next. Great, I go up, I stand there, I throw 3 pitches, strikes, okay, great, you know. Huh? Who competes like that? Anybody ever heard of Derek Redmond? Who's Derek Redmond? No, you haven't. You don't know Derek. Who's Derek Redmond? I know you know because you were at the presentation this summer. Does anybody else know who Derek Redmond is? Derek Redmond is one of my favorite sprinters, and I'm not a sprinter. Derek Redmond competed for the English Olympic team. Derek Redmond was the greatest opportunity for England to medal at the Olympics. You say, I can, and you then develop the appropriate attitude, which is, I get to, then you have to apply yourself. Because anybody can say, woohoo, I get to. I can go to practice today. I get to go to practice today. And then you show up. Then what do you do? Then you have to apply yourself. Because if something is worth doing, it's worth doing right, it's worth doing well, and it's worth committing the time to do it. Okay? You don't have to do anything. Who has to go to practice today? I know some of you can raise your hand. If I'm going to practice, my mom will get mad. Well, your mom, you don't want to go to practice. But guess what? Don't be surprised if your mom says, great, you'll never have to go to practice again. My kids used to go crazy. My kids would say, Mom, I don't want to go to school today. My wife would say, don't go to school. And they'd go, all right, I'm going. My wife would say, I would tell you you had to. My kids would say, Dad, I don't want to practice today. I say, don't practice. And they go, you're just using that reverse psychology on me. I say, no, I'm not. I'm going to pick on my son again. There's a great saying that Michael Phelps, you might know Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer, right? Everybody sure Michael Phelps? There's a great saying, his coach always said, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So Michael Phelps used to work harder than anybody else. He's renowned for his work ethic. Michael Phelps would say, I'm never going to get outworked. I'm never going to get outworked. The second half of the sentence Jack gave me when Jack went off to college, Jack came home and said, hey Dad, do you remember that saying you used to always have with us that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard? And you know what I'm talking about with that saying. If I'm a natural baseball player, right? I got a smooth swing. I got that natural swing. I don't have to work hard. And then who's the guy in the batting cage all day long? All day long. I know you guys heard of Cal Ripken. Hardest working man in baseball. Cal Ripken holds all these records. He is without a doubt the hardest working man in baseball. That leads me to the second half of the saying, which is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But when talent works hard, you're in trouble. Jack got to college and said, hey Dad, remember you used to tell us we could do anything, we could beat people? Guess what happens when really talented people work hard? Then things get dangerous. So you have to apply yourself. Once you've developed, you've made the decision, you've chosen to undertake the activity, you then have to apply yourself. And again, every day when I get up, I say thank you for the opportunity, and then I say now let's go to work, let's get it done. Because I know somewhere out there is someone on another team, in another place, who is doing it better, faster, harder than I am. They're out there working. If I'm not working, somebody's going to beat me. And if there's a whole lot of things I know, Joe and I run together, and most of the people I run with will tell you I'm not the fastest guy. I'm really not. I'm certainly not the most talented guy out there. But what most of the people that I train with will tell you is whatever you do not stop and do not look back, because Nick is out there somewhere. And he's coming. He'll run you down. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but he's coming. My grandfather used to have a saying, somebody said, I'm going to beat you up. I'd say, great, but you better pack a lunch because it's going to take you all day to do it. So, when you go out there today, what are your choices going to say about you? What are the things that you do going to say about you? How you dress, how you conduct yourself on the field, how you act towards other athletes. When you strike out, you throw your bat down, you say a dirty word and storm off. Or better yet, when you hit the home run, you run by the guy on first base and go, ooh, in your face, hit a home run. Character is not driven by losing. Character is just as much driven by winning. How you act when you win is just as important as how you act when you lose. Anybody ever heard of Carlos Melita? Carlos Melita lives in Bluffton, South Carolina, right here in Bluffton, South Carolina. Carlos Melita holds the world record. He is the 5-time Hawaii Ironman champion. But Carlos Melita is the 5-time Ironman champion in the para-athlete division.
I firmly believe that you're born and then you die. And then in between, what happened to your life is really up to you. My name is Carlos Melita, and I'm Petty Officer 2nd Class, U.S. Navy, former Navy SEAL. I was born in Brazil. I made a decision to leave my home, to find a better life, to find a better place. Then as soon as I found out about the SEALs, it was like a lightning bolt just hit me. When I went through the SEAL training, it really changed who I was as a person. I found out there was so much more I could do, physically and mentally. My class had 120 people, and out of those 120, only about 11 of those finished the training. So right there, it told me that, there was something special about me. I was going to do great things with my life. In 1989, when the U.S. invaded Panama, and I was a member of SEAL Team 4 in a golf platoon, we went to Panama to capture Manuel Noriega. 4 guys were killed, one on my left and one on my right were killed, and I was shot in my back and my leg, and and my life changed that night. I woke up 2 days later in a hospital bed, and every day they came in and asked me to, can you move your foot? Can you move your toes? Can you feel your legs? And I couldn't. I spent a lot of time thinking, what am I going to do now? My SEAL team buddies came to see me, and one of my friends, AJ, he brought me a trident. And he put that in my hand, and he said, don't ever forget who you are, because of, you're a Navy SEAL. You're always going to be one. You were Carlos Molina, you're still the same person. The only difference is you can't walk. From that day on, it made me realize that, yes, I was still the same guy. There was no reason, I was going to let that wheelchair really define who I was as a person. At the end, being an athlete was what saved my life, I think. I've done the Ironman 5 times. I won it 4 times and set a world record. If that guy, can do Ironman, if he can do, race across America, if he can, ride his hand cycle 3,000 miles, and that's what what motivates me. It's the ability to be able to give back to the community. I think it makes it easier for them to, to transition back into life.
Carlos is a buddy of mine, and in 2007, when I was trying to qualify for the Ironman World Championships, I missed it literally by a minute 13 seconds in 2007. Maryland? Yeah, like a minute and 13 seconds. I blame it on him. That's why I'm asking him. Because I was racing this guy ahead of me. We were racing for spots, and we came to the end of the race, and I thought I was going to catch him at the end. There was a blind corner. As I went around the corner, he and my wife are standing on the corner, and the guy's running, and I'm running him down and chasing. I've been chasing him for 140 miles, and I'm going to sneak up on him because it's a blind corner, and he turns the corner, and he and my wife start screaming, "Go, Dad! You can get him!" And of course, what's the guy in front of me do? Yeah, he takes off. But I come back and I'm training with my buddies, and I get out. All my buddies are like, "Oh, that's a great race. It's too bad you didn't qualify for the World Championships. You just missed it." All my buddies are like, "Hey, you ran a great race." And I'm feeling pretty good about myself. And Carlos, who was coming to train with us, and yes, we ride our bikes, and he rides his hand cycle with us, same speed. Carlos rides up next to me and says, "Hey, how'd your race go?" And I said, "Oh, Carlos, I just missed it. A minute, 13 seconds. I was so close." He said, "When's your next race?" I said, "What?" He goes, when you want to go to Hawaii, right? Weren't you trying to qualify for the World Championships? I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, then when's your next race?" I said, "Well, good heavens, Carlos, I just finished that other race." And he got mad. He said, "Listen, either you want to go or you don't want to go. If you want to go to the World Championships, you better pick another qualifying race, and you better start training today." He said, "You let me know when you're serious." And he rode off, left me stay in the parking lot. I was like, wow. But that's the mentality that he has. That's the way he trains. The choices that he makes say everything about him. They tell you everything you need to know about him. That's why I ask, what do your choices say about you? Now, normally we're scheduled for a little break, but I know you guys got to get out of here. So I'm going to keep running through this. We're going to try and shorten ourselves down here. If anybody has to take a break, I don't mind if you just quietly get up and go do whatever it is you need to do. But I'm going to keep going. All right. So, kind of back to this crazy, you really go 140 miles? Heck, this weekend, guess what I'm doing for fun? I got my first ultra marathon. This Saturday, I'm going to run 50 miles up in the hills of North Carolina. I've I've never run an ultra marathon before. I figured it'd be something good. I turned 50 this year. I'm going to run 50 miles for my 50th birthday. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Yeah. Everybody's going, no, you sound like crazy. All right, where are my runners? Where are my runners? Where are my runners? Young lady, what do you think about when you're out there running and it's really hot? You want to be the end. Okay, that's good. Like a horse thinking about the barn. Like, how do I get back? How do I get back? What else do you guys think about when you're out there training and it's difficult? You have anything that you like try and think about, like that motivates you? Yeah. Hold on, young lady. I'm talking loud. You gotta talk loud. They all need to hear you. There you go. That's a good thing. So you like try and trick your mind, trying to play tricks on yourself. And you say, okay, this is it. This is really my last lap. Yes, sir. Say again. What I said. This is interactive here. You got to talk to me just like I'm talking to you. You can hear me, can't you? All right, but it's making me better. So every swing is making me better. Like Jack's friend at the university there. What are you doing in the library? I'm getting smarter, man. Every time that guy read a book, I'm getting smarter. Every time he ran a lap, I'm getting faster. Every time he lifted a weight, I'm getting stronger. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm getting a chance to do it. That's another good reason. I'm out here. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm getting myself ready. Why do I do it? What do I tell myself? My brain housing group works a certain way. My belief structure tells me that I run for a particular reason. I run because I can. So I convince myself when I'm out there doing whatever it is I'm doing, if I need some motivation or I need to go somewhere, I reach down and I remember what I believe in, what makes me who I am, what makes me tick. And that's my motivation. Why do I do what I do? Because I believe certain things. Now, this is not intended to be a religious talk. I don't care whether you're Christian or is a Jehovah's Witness or you're a Buddhist or you're a Muslim. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is more fundamental. What do I believe in? One of the things I know I believe in is I believe in pals. I believe in teammates. Why do you keep playing hard when your team's losing? You're going to lose, right? You're going to lose. You're going to get killed. Why would you play hard? Huh?
So you get better.
All right, so I get better. What happens when my teammates see me slacking off? Yeah. Why would are you going to quit on your teammates? No, you're not going to quit on your teammates. So you want to make sure that when you're doing what you're doing it for the right reason. So what do you believe in? What do you fundamentally believe in that is the basis for doing what you're doing? Anybody ever heard of Roger Little? Roger Little. Nobody's ever heard of Roger Little. Anybody ever heard of Chariots of Fire, the movie?
Yes.
Roger Little was a famous runner. Go figure. Chariots of Fire is one of my favorite movies. And if you haven't figured, I'm a bit of a movie buff. This is one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever. So Roger Little was a runner for England back in the early 1900s. And Roger Little was a fundamentally devout Christian. He did not run on the Sabbath. He didn't do anything on the Sabbath. Sunday was his religious holy day. And Roger Little had a fundamental belief that when he ran, he was doing it for the glory of God. And he would run to the point of complete exhaustion in his races. And his form would go, this is a true story, by the way. Chariots of Fire is a true story. Roger Little is a true person. He died doing missionary work overseas in Asia. After these Olympics, he went overseas as a missionary, ended up dying over there. He got sick. But when Roger Little ran, he would arms would go flailing and his head would go back. but he believed that he was running with a very specific purpose. And in the Olympics, the finals were on a Sunday, and he refused to run. He literally was not going to run in the finals of the Olympics because it was on a Sunday. And his sister Jenny explained to him that because of his beliefs, he should run on Sunday.
So where does the power come from?
Where does the power come from? It comes from within. The reason he ran on Sunday was because his sister explained to him when he ran, he felt that presence.
Final 400 meters. Taylor, États-Unis. Numéro 278.
Good luck.
United States.
Don't expect I'll see you till after the race. What's the deal with this guy Little, Coach? He a problem?
No problem. He's a flyer. He's had 2 races today already. He'll die. Just swing along, you guys, and wait. After 300 meters, rigor mortis sets in. You'll pull him in on a rope.
Johnson, Canada. Number 400.
Good luck, Taylor. Watch out for Little.
Coach says no problem.
He's got something to prove, something personal. Something guys like Coach will never understand in a million years.
Jenny.
It says in the old book, he that honors me, I will honor. Good luck, Jackson Shows.
So where does the power come from to see the race to its end?
From within.
Jenny, I believe God made me for a purpose. But he also made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure.
that's a great line. It's actually a letter that he wrote to his sister. He said, Jenny, I know that God made me for a purpose, but he also made me fast. When I run, I can tangibly feel his pleasure. He competed and he won the Olympic Games. So for me, I relate my beliefs with the purpose that I'm doing it for specific reasons. One of the reasons I compete, who was the guy back there? I like what you said earlier when I said, why would you keep competing if you're losing? Right? Because you can always win. You can always come back. If you don't believe that, don't do it. For God's sakes, if you don't believe that you're going to win the event when you start, don't start it. And I don't care how crazy the odds are. When I'm doing an Ironman, I will literally play a tape in my head about the age group athlete, Nick Felix, coming out of nowhere, making his way into the professional ranks. One time I made a scenario up that all the other athletes went to the banquet the night before and they got food poisoning. And the next day when we were competing, everybody else was getting sick and I started winning. And I convinced myself to run faster. But every time I toe the line, I am running that race or competing in that game to win it. Now, maybe I'm racing Jack. I know he is way faster than I am. But I'm going to make him pay for it. I'm going to make him come to the field. I'm going to make him run that race. When I played lacrosse in college, I played for the Citadel. And our coach, we would go out and we stunk. We were really bad. And we played a lot of really good teams. And our coach would say, you guys are going to lose today. We have pre-game speech. We're all ready to get fired up. The coach would come in and say, you're going to lose the game. You're like, wow, man, that's not really motivation, coach. You're not firing me up. And he'd say, but, we are the Citadel, Military College of South Carolina. And by God, before they leave the field, they will know that they have played us. Punish them. Make them pay to be here. So if somebody's going to beat you, make them beat you all the way to the finish line. Because you got to believe that you can win anytime you step up. And if you don't, then you're not going into it with the right attitude.
Halfway stage from a truly international field when he kicked in 2 laps, 800 meters in 2 minutes 10 seconds. But gradually they're getting to him. It's been a long, lonely trek for him. And chasing him now, Shahanga, the Commonwealth Games 10,000 meter champion from Tanzania, and the world cross-country champion from Ethiopia, Debela. But Jones has run a really gallant race. If only he can hang on now. He's got the crowd with him entirely. He's done all the running, but they are closing. And of course he's got very little finishing speed. So there's the bell. 400 meters left. Can he find something as Shahanga starts to move?
Oh, raw courage here from Steve Jones. This crowd who love their distance runners. He's doing a Brendan Foster, he's doing a David Bedford. Shahanga's getting after him, but the crowd have loved the way that he's taken it off, and he really tried to get away.
Shahanga closing all the time. 200 meters left. Jones looking for trouble, and the trouble is there. Shahanga's got him in his sights now. He's got the encouragement to go. And surely it looks as if he's going to catch him. Jones kicks hard in front. But can he hang on? Shahanga coming with every spot. And the African is going to steal this race. But Jones coming back. A marvelous run. And Jones comes back on the inside. And what a finish. A truly astonishing run. From being beaten, he came back, and the effort for Shahanga to get there, well, killed him. And when Jones got back, he was strong, he was decisive, 28 seconds for the last hour. And he's beaten a world-class race, time 27:55.2. Doesn't matter, because behind him, a whole string of world-class athletes. And what a battle this was. Here There's Jahanka to have him beaten. He really attacked hard, fast, on the outside, and Jones's head went back momentarily. And then suddenly, with the race apparently won, Steve Jones recognised the African was weakening, and that gave him all he needed, because the gap was there on the inside. The encouragement was there as he felt Jahanka falter, and he drove through there to the line to take the 10,000 metres. A fine win, and a victory for sure.
I'm going to play one last video.
Prefontaine is favored here, and they're opening up. We're going to have a race under 13 minutes. Prefontaine's getting very strong. Shorter back about 12 yards. Prefontaine and Staggerberg. The outside chance still hanging on. Prefontaine moving it up. And he's great. Steve Prefontaine as he moved down the stretch for one of the fastest races of his life. No doubt about it. He's going to be under 13 minutes. He's powering down that stretch. He's really opened up a lead on Staggerberg. Steve Prefontaine bringing this Oregon crowd to its feet as he's finishing this 3-mile run. Our national champion. And listen to that crowd.
200 metres left. The champion Gamudi leads. Viren moves up inside Prefontaine. The Finn and the American gathering for the final attack. And here comes Viren chasing his second gold medal. Viren goes for home. Gamudi is bankrupt. So too is Prefontaine. And the Finn goes in now for his second gold medal. And Stewart with a late run. The Finn wins. Gamudi second. The long run for home is on. Straub kicking again. Just over 300 to go. Cohen second place, Ovet is third. Busser still fourth. Very
Escobar is fourth. Abel, Garouge, Lagat, Pesco, Escobar. They're approaching the final attack. Still on the heels of El Garouge. El Garouge has been dominant, but has not been able to win and still
each other. Which one is the faster? Ovet in the pulling position coming up to attack. There'll be no waves, I suspect, today to the crowd. Attack. Goes Cole. He's looking for Ovet, wondering where he is. He's right there behind him. And Ovet gathers himself on the near side. Strong with the far side. And could this be Ovet's first defeat? Ovet's in front. And Cole gets the revenge he wants. It's Strong. Third is Ovet. Fourth is Busser. Fifth is Fodadella. Sixth Blanchi. Seventh Marijo. Eighth Crown. And in ninth place the Yugoslav. And what a comeback for Sebastian Coe. The man they write off totally.
To be boxed in by the Ethiopians. They will not be doing him any favors. You are right. 3 Ethiopians around him, allowing the Kele to really isolate himself against the Kenyan. And the Kele goes by Kipchoge. Gets an air lead, now starts to pull away. And here comes El Garouge after him. Can he get it? The Kele, gold medalist at 10,000 meters. El Garouge, gold medalist at 1,500. Here they are in the home straightaway of the 5,000 meters.
And now it is Hilton Head Prep going down the back straight, but he is unable to shake Noah Nayab.
So great to see an attempt on a record also being a race between two men. So often The world record challenger is out alone, having dropped the two pacemakers, but in this case we have a real race on our hands. Nayen not giving way at all. This 20-year-old with the 3 fastest times in the world this year, not in any way humiliated by this great Moroccan runner, and sticks close to him coming off the turn with 100 meters to go. He's still there.
Nayen trying to move in on Hilton Head Prep. He's closing. Watch the time. The world record 3:44.39. They race to the finish line. Hilton Head Prep is going to hang on. He's got a world record. 3:43.12.
He's going to cruise to the finish line. Kruger is in there second. Myers is third. It doesn't look like anybody kicks them. Webb wins. Kruger second. Myers third.
And up front is Bill Mills. He's pressing Ron Clark, the world champion. Bill Mills of the United States, number 722, is leading Ron Clark. And in third place right now is Mahout Kamoudi of Tunis. A tremendous upset if Bill Mills can hang on. But Kamoudi goes out ahead as Kamoudi right now leading in the 10,000 meter. Ron Clark is third. Rather, Bill Mills is in third. Ron Clark is in second right now. This is the final lap for the 10,000 meter. The unheralded Mahout Kamoudi of Tunis is putting on a tremendous sprint. He's out ahead of Ron Clark. Bill Mills, the United States, is in third place. This will certainly be the fastest 10,000 meter ever run by an American.
Here's Mills, who seems to be boxed in. Suddenly there's an opening, and here he comes.
Here they come down the final out. Can Ron Clark catch Kamoudi? They're going through the field. He's coming up. He's passing Kamoudi. Look at Mills! Look at Mills! Look at Mills! Mills is coming on. That might be Bill Mills. What a tremendous surprise here. Bill Mills of the United States wins the 10,000. It's 2 o'clock. Bill Mills, the United States.
Does anybody have any questions before we go? All right? I'm going to tie this in. I'm going to go straight through the end. Why do you run? We're back to the beginning, right? I run because I believe that I can, for me, I believe I can win. So the question is, why do you run? Why do you play? Why do you do what you do? And that's what I want you to go home and think about. That's what I want you to leave here with. So I appreciate your time today. I thank you for coming. I know you guys got to get out of here. Coach Nash, thank you so much for having me. Coach Nash,